Okay, so let's begin with Laxmikant's first chapter, historical background. Let us understand what it says about. So, the Britishers came to India in 1608. Britishers entered India in 1608. There was a queen in Europe named Queen Elizabeth. Okay, so she was the one who granted a permission. That permission is called as charter. Charter was granted by Queen Elizabeth in 1600. What did the charter talk about? The charter talked about rights to trade with India. Okay, so in 1760, let us understand this. The Britishers came to India in 1608 as traders in the form of East India Company, which had the exclusive right of trading in India under a charter granted by Queen Elizabeth. The sole purpose of East India Company was only to trade. They came only for business purposes and to trade. The company was called East India Company, which was created in 1600. Its purpose was to buy valuable Indian goods such as spices, cotton, indigo, tea, and sell them in Europe for profit. This was the only sole reason behind Britishers coming to India. But later on, something called as territorial expansion was done by Britishers. So let us read. In 1765, the company, which till then had only purely trading functions, obtained the Diwani rights. Underline the word Diwani over here. What does Diwani means? Diwani is the rights of Bengal, Bihar and Odisha. So what rights? Rights of revenue and civil justice. Rights of revenue and civil justice. What is rights of revenue and civil justice? Rights of revenue in the sense to collect taxes of that particular area. The area means Bengal, Bihar and Odisha. So to collect the taxes of Bengal, Bihar and Odisha, this is the right which have been gotten to Britishers. So Diwani means the right to collect taxes and administer civil justice. Taxes could be anything, for example land tax, agriculture tax, and whereas civil justice in the sense cases involving property disputes, family disputes, money disputes, not criminal cases. So this is what Diwani is, rights over revenue and civil justice of Bengal, Bihar and Odisha. Okay, so I don't know if you have read history or not. History tells about how the company got the Diwani rights. After the Battle of Buxar, the Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II granted Diwani rights to the East India Company in 1765. Okay, anyways, you will be reading this in history. I'm just giving you an overview about it. So, now understanding it, how the company functioned before 1765 was the company earned through trade. After 1765, the company could collect taxes directly from Indian people. This gave the power to wealth. It basically gave power to Britishers. So this ended up as its career as territorial power. This started its career as a territorial power. In 1858, in the wake of the Sepoy Mutiny, I don't know if you all know about Sepoy Mutiny. Okay, what's Sepoy Mutiny is Indian Rebellion of 1857. The British called the Sepoy Mutiny as Indian Rebellion of 1857, and the Indian historians often call it the First War of Independence. This you will be reading this in history, but let me give you a overview about it. So Indians went against Britishers. That's what Sepoy Mutiny is. Discontent among Indian soldiers, sepoys in the sense Sipahis of India, who were working under British service. The rebellion arose from deep grievances over military, political, economic, and cultural policies. Actually, you can study about it in history. So, in 1858, in the wake of Sepoy Mutiny, the British Crown assumed direct responsibility for the governance of India. This rule continued until India was granted independence on August 15, 1947. See, as it says, in 1858, after the Sepoy Mutiny, the British Crown assumed direct responsibility for the governance of India. So, this means the Britishers realized that a private company, which is East India Company, should not rule such a huge country all alone. So they decided to take it in their hands. In whose hands? In British government hands. So how it happened? It happened after Sepoy Mutiny. So from when to when the British government ruled India? From 1858 to 1947. Next comes the need of independence. With independence came the need of constitution. Before independence, the Britain people made the laws. After independence, India had to govern itself. So no one can rule India, right? So India will be ruling itself. So they bought this something called constitution. To form the a constituent assembly was formed for this purpose in 1946 on January 26th, 1950. Okay. The constitution came into being. However, various features of the Indian constitution and polity have their roots in the British rule. There were certain events in the British rule that laid down the legal framework for the organization and functioning of government and administration in British India. These events have greatly influenced our constitution and polity. They are explained here in a chronological order under two major headings: the company rule and the crown rule. So what it is talking about is, what is a constituent assembly? Constituent assembly is a special group of people chosen to write constitution. Chosen to write the constitution. Chosen to write the constitution. So that body was called as Constitution Assembly. When was it formed? It was formed in 1946. The constitution was adopted on 26th November 1949 and got effective on January 26th, 1950. This day is celebrated as Republic Day. India became republic. Constitution became supreme. Even though India became independent, many government institutions created by the British were still retained. Examples like parliamentary government was brought from British, cabinet system was brought from British, rule of law was taken from British, civil services were taken from British, judiciary was taken from British government, etc. etc. So this is what the sentence talks about. There were certain events in the British rule that laid down the legal framework for the organization and functioning of government and administration in British India. These events have greatly influenced our constitution and polity. So let us understand the company rule and the crown rule. So as we come to company rule,